غرباء ولغير الله لا نحمل جباه، غرباء وارتضيناها شعارا في الحياة، غرباء ولغير.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الحدي حدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations of peace and greetings upon the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and seeking refuge from the evil within us and the evil around us, and traveling through this dunya, the land of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whereby we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives dominance of the land to whomever He will subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء من عباده والعاقبة للمتقين. That indeed when dominance is given to the believers upon this dunya, that's not the real dominance that they want. That's only a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be given position and authority on the land. But the real home and the real abode for the believer, وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, that is a real abode for the believer to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how should the believer be whilst treading upon this dunya, whereby you find that unfortunately so many of us are so engrossed in this world, in the concept of what is classified as hubbud dunya, a love of the world. Even that you find the religious clerics and the scholars and those individuals talk about Islam, that you find a great love of hubbud dunya. And this was prophesied by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there will come a time upon the individuals that we will be suffering from al-wahan, will be suffering from this disease. And it was asked, what is al-wahan? Al-wahan, hubbud dunya wa karahatul maut or karahiyatul maut. Al-wahan, this disease that you find, will be a love of this world and a hatred for death, which has been shattered upon many of us, illa man rahima rabbi, except for whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken away from this concept of the love of the dunya. And you find that that is the initial stage of becoming a stranger in this world. That the ghuraba individuals are strange in everything about them, in the way that they conduct themselves. And this concept of staying away from the dunya is taken from none other than manhajul anbiya. It's taken from the methodology of the prophets, because they were azhadun nas. They were the most vibrant individuals to stay away from the dunya and focus upon the akhirah, and only take from the dunya that which they need. And thus you find that unfortunately at times even the anbiya fell into the traps of the dunya. And as we highlight, this is not a way to tarnish their credibility, but just to highlight the bashariyah of the anbiya salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim jami'an, that this could happen to them, and likewise it could happen to the common individual, that they could fall into the trap of the dunya. And that's the clearest example that you find of falling into the trap of the dunya is through reading the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, whereby you find that this noble king, because there were only two righteous kings that you find that trod upon this planet. One was Sulaiman alayhi salam, and the other one was Dawood, the father of Sulaiman alayhi salam. These are the two righteous kings that you find. وَوَهَبْنَا لِدَاوُودَ سُلَيْمَانَ نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. Indeed, we bestowed a great gift, a blessing upon Dawood. We bestowed upon him Sulaiman alayhi salam, نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. What a beautiful servant he was, the individual who repented back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And thus you find that the ayat that they continue, that what happened to Sulaiman alayhi salam. إِذْ عُرِضَ عَلَيْهِ بِالْعَشِيِّ السَّافِنَاتُ الْجِيَادُ. That you find that displayed before him, in front of this individual, Sulaiman alayhi salam, in the afternoon, were the well-trained horses of the highest breed, the highest pedigree. فَقَالَ إِنِّي أَحْبَبْتُ حُبَّ الْخَيْرِ عَنْ ذِكْرِ رَبِّي. Indeed, the love of these horses has taken me away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala حَتَّى تَوَارَتْ بِالْحِجَابِ, until the coming of the sun has been hidden or the veil appears, meaning the night has come, the time of Maghrib has appeared. And you find that this is a natural love that human beings have, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has highlighted inside the Quran that man loves such belongings and possessions. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ الْمُقَنطَرَةِ مِنَ الذَّهَبِ وَالْفِضَّةِ. The insan loves women, loves property, loves children, loves وَالْخَيْلِ الْمُسَوَّمَةِ, branded stallions, branded horses. In today's language, transport, fast cars, property. Insan loves that. And likewise loves tilth, the land, the property. That's why in human beings, every single human being aspires to have. Al-malu wal-banun zinatul hayat dunya. Indeed, wealth and property are the beautiful things that man aspires to have. So this natural love that Sulaiman alayhi salam had, is nothing wrong with that. Because every single human being has a love to possess certain possessions. But if you analyze the concept of Sulaiman alayhi salam, that even in his possession of the worldly things, then why did he possess those branded horses? Did he possess those branded horses? Excuse this, I know it's going to hurt quite a few people, like the Arabs possess them today, just to race in the horses, to gamble upon them, to spend millions upon the horses. And that's a fact, that's a reality. Because as I mentioned previously, I'm not a foolish individual. I know what takes place in many of these lands and what these people, how they conduct themselves and what they do with their money. They care more about their horses than they do care about the people in Palestine at the moment. And thus they'll spend millions on these horses to transport them over, to run in their races and to gamble their money. Which is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them about. As for Sulaiman alayhi salam, he didn't keep it for that purpose. The purpose of Sulaiman alayhi salam was none other than jihad fi sabilillah. So his cause was a noble cause. So he was justified to keep those horses and to train those horses and to nurture those horses and to take care of those horses. And likewise you find that during this inspection, this parade of the horses coming in front of him, you find that he missed, as the ulama tafasir they highlight, he missed or he delayed Salatul Asr. Now obviously ulama tafasir have highlighted that this was something permissible. Because why? Salah had not been sanctified at a set time. But even then, Sulaiman alayhi salam, he felt bad. That how could my entertaining these horses and watching these horses has distracted me from offering the prayer. And thus you find that even in the Quran, you find حَافِظُوا لَلصَّلَوَاتِ وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. Guard your prayers and guard the middle prayer. وَقَوْلُ الرَّاجِحِ, the middle prayer is Salatul Asr. Is that middle prayer, the late afternoon prayer. In the hadith you find whoever misses that prayer is as if they've lost all of their worldly possession and all of their family. So you can find the ta'qeed of the Prophet Muhammad coming and highlighting the importance. And the ulama of hadith have written the reason why, because Salatul Asr, many people are so engrossed in their work, trying to finish off their work, etc., that they delay their prayer, or they miss their prayer. And especially that you find in these lands, you find concept of qada, of praying your prayer at a later stage, which is subcontinent culture that you find. Qada is not to be performed whenever you feel like performing the prayer. Because indeed prayers have been prescribed for the believers in a kitab mawquta, set times for you to offer your prayers. Qada is only there when a person has fallen